Latin Crew, the street radio station.
Today we have a very special guest here at Latin Crew. Someone who represents the dream of many migrants who come to Australia seeking a new opportunities. He comes from Brazil and has international students. And today he's part of the city Melbourne Council and the local government of the city. He's Rafael Camilo, Consular is the chair of Safety and Clean City Portal and Deputy for Infrastructure. Rafael, welcome to Latin Crew, and he is an honor to have with us.
Buenas tardes, everyone. I wish I could be speaking Spanish fluent. I'm a little bit shy for that, but I gotta go in the English or the Portuguese. But I would love to speak in Spanish, you know. But posso hablar algumas palavras.
Yeah,
posso
good.
hablar un poquito, but I mean, hearing you guys having a conversation, I don't think I'm...
No, but I know you can understand because
I can understand everything, was listening to everything.
While we were talking, he was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
even when we talk about Sydney, he was like, because he's representative of
To Melbourne.
Representing
The best
the
city
city
in
of
Australia.
Melbourne. Yes, the best city in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's true.
It is. When I moved to Melbourne, I moved in here because it was the best city
In the world, yeah, sure.
Cool. That's why we have the first question.
Okay.
You moved 10 years ago.
Now,
How old are you?
2007.
2007.
Yeah.
18?
2007.
is
2007. Like
2007.
probably
18 years, 18 years.
18 years ago, yes.
Well,
So long time, yeah.
Tell us
I was 10 years old.
can you tell us a little bit about your story? How was because you know after we arrived as a migrants, learning English now is difficult, but we have tools like ChatGPT, we have translators, we have many community to share, we have support. After I arrived, I came with friends. Was a bit easier. How was it
And
that
you
time?
have interpreter service.
Yeah.
Yes.
That never existed before.
When you arrived in Australia, you speak English or no? Just Portuguese?
I finished my university in Brazil. I was working in a bank.
Yeah.
And then just like I need to improve my English. Then I thought it was the best place to go is London or England. But then I started reading, the best city in the world, Melbourne. It's close to Asian countries. It's very far away from Brazil, Latin America. Why you don't go and explore that? I was 27 years old.
Yeah.
Then I say, okay.
Why
then I
not?
started researching about. Then I went to La Trobe Uni to do an academic English for a year.
Yeah.
So it was like a full-on classes from 9 to 5, 9 to 3.
Oh, it's so
Australia,
hard.
nothing's full-time, you know, like
Yeah.
9 to 3. And and then I did for a year, the whole academy. But my English was not very good, you know, because you think you know something. You think you learn until you're in
But you
front.
jump
Yeah.
after arrive straight to the university.
Yes.
That's challenging.
It was, well, academic English, but a lot of the people are
Yeah,
very learners. They do a test, and then they put which level you are, and that helped me a lot. But you need to challenge yourself, because I choose Melbourne too, because I know all the Brazilians used to go to Sydney and Sydney and Brisbane.
Brisbane is the biggest.
But then I heard that Melbourne was the most European city,
Yeah.
and I started researching the best city in the world, and I said, well, that's where I'm going. The best city
And
in the world.
you came by yourself or you came with
By
someone?
myself, no one,
No friends,
I had
no
a friend
family?
in Perth, and she said, "You come to Perth," and I read about Perth. I say, "Nah, I'm more Melbourne." And she say, "Why you didn't come in here? You have me. You're not gonna have anyone." And say, "No, if I gotta go, I gotta do it." And it didn't have a lot of Brazilians in here too. It was not a city that Brazilians, they go more to Sydney is number one, Brisbane, and then Melbourne.
Maybe for the weather, it's like
It's because of the
yeah.
weather. It's the
Yeah.
beach
Here it's very
culture.
cold.
It's cold. And but the cold doesn't bother me. You know? As long as life, and I think I come for more that European lifestyle, the mix of cultures, and the best city in the world. And I say, let's see what they can offer, you know.
And what did you study at Brazil?
In Brazil, I studied business and marketing
Okay.
for nearly 5 years. And then before I left Brazil, I was working in a bank, Itaú Bank.
How was the Latin community at that time? The first.
Well, it was a mix. It's always had more Colombians than Brazil, and it still
At
is.
that time?
Colombia's a big mafia here.
Yeah.
You know, they have been coming for years, and they take
No,
over.
sure,
I mean,
but before
they even have a radio station
didn't-
here. You know, Brazilians, they don't have that.
We have disco.
Yeah, they
We
have
have disco
disco. They have.
restaurants.
I don't know. I want to learn a little bit of the history. Who was the first Colombians to come in here? Because I think it's always you have the pioneer paradigm. Who was the first? Why they coming here? Because it's just skipping
Yeah.
going for
How
years.
do we know that? Is it possible?
I don't know. The other day I was questioning myself to research more, and now you just remember.
Then we can make
Remind-
a special
Yes,
to talk
yes,
here about
that would be a good
okay.
thing. Why the Colombians? And then it was the second one. I think we are the second one. The country that had most in Melbourne, and then you have Chile and Argentina.
But you reckon the Latin American culture match so good with the Australian culture, so we don't have like
Could it be that, or could it be because many years ago someone start the train, and then you have families, and then one family is related to someone, and then they bring everyone. I don't know. If maybe it's a strong community in here that brings other communities from Colombia.
the night after I arrived I work in the transport
Yeah.
area. I was the only Colombian, just the only one. After I arrived, everyone was like, But after 2 weeks, hey man, hey, because we are so friendly.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Very
I used to
nice.
work at La Trobe Uni too, because I was studying there and I got a job as a marketing assistant. And I was impressed the number of Colombians. Usually I was the only Brazilian, and then we got someone working as a coordinator for English something studies, but the majority was Colombian and one Mexican. So
Mexico doesn't it because Mexico they go close USA.
yeah, exactly. And then, but I think the Chileans is close too for them because they have direct flight. And I gotta tell a little gossiping here, okay? Is we in the radio? Apparently, we're gonna have more direct flights from Melbourne to Chile
Yeah.
every day soon, but I'm not gonna tell the date. I just heard this gossip. That's brilliant for us, you know, because we need to fly to Sydney. Need to go to. Oh my God, I forgot the city.
Yeah, last time we've been in talks with Latam about that,
Good.
and the lady says they plans to make something smooth.
It's
for us.
happening. I'm not gonna tell when, but
But it's
Yeah.
confirmed. It's
Yes.
confirmed.
confirmed.
With Latam.
December. Okay, so it's the confirm. I can tell.
Yeah,
December.
someone from
And I was so
Latam,
happy.
She
Yeah.
told us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So December they were gonna have apparently. What I heard it was gonna
Santiago.
be every day to Santiago, direct from Melbourne. That's good because
Yes.
we
That's
need
really
that.
good.
At this time, I want to confirm for the people who's hearing. We've been in talks with Latam, and they say for future, they're gonna make the flights like faster and just one stop in Chile, Santiago from
And then-
Melbourne.
Yeah,
Make
I want
things
one to
faster.
São Paulo.
Maybe later.
later.
Maybe it's because the quotation of people who move to Santiago is bigger because there's Colombians, Peru, Argentina.
No, it's the closest one they should put it, but soon in future for us, think about Latin America has 600 million people living.
Yeah.
Australia needs to wake up and see what the potential, the market potential of doing business with them, international students. We can explore this a little bit more. You know, like why not having? We used to have direct flights to Argentina, to Buenos Aires. We no longer have. So a lot of things before the lockdown and after. So we used to have direct flights from Melbourne to Santiago, and now things are coming back. So I think we're having a lot of Peruvian international students coming to Melbourne, a lot.
And a big quotation because of the Peruvian government long ago, they had problems. So they sent many refugees. It was like 40 years ago, maybe?
But now at the moment, because the mining, they have a kind of mining booming happening there. So a lot of the families want to send their relatives to Australia to study. Melbourne is a good destination.
For me,
So
it's the
watch
best.
out, Colombians, the Peruvians are coming, you know.
Yeah.
No, for me, that's one question. Do you have any question, Ali?
About her start here in Australia, but you wanna
Okay,
keep talking about?
sorry, I forgot. So I started here in 2007, went to live in Bandura, and I was living a homestay. Didn't like. But anyway, some of my friends got a happy and lucky. My experience was not the best, but each person has a different experience. After a year, I went there and decided to share house with people close to the university. But then I decided to move more closer to the city.
Yeah,
you know?
and you remember what was your first job here?
My very first job, I was helping with cleaning stuff at La Trobe Uni. La Trobe Uni. And then I got one, I was serving champagne in a bar in South Bank. And then later on, I was lucky to get the job at La Trobe as a casual marketing assistant, because they need to deal with a lot of international students. And back then, the manager, we got along very well, and he said, "Would you like to help me and stuff?" And then I need to welcome international students, delegations, and things like that. When my English was better.
That's why I want to ask you, because as much like a lot of us, we start as a cleaner, and
Yes.
it's nice to see how is the path to get.
You know, I had like a 2 hours job a week at La Trobe Uni to pick up. I had a picker, and it goes in front of the university and pick up the garbage people left in there. So I make a bag, work for 2 hours, and that's it. It was my very first job. After I was working in a bank, and I didn't have no problems at all. Because a job is a job.
Yeah.
When you need the money, it pays the bills. And I think in Latin America we have a lot of stigmas because the money that's paid for the people that provide service has changed a lot. Listen, I'm 43 years old. Your generation, you guys look like 18 years old, but anyway, like it would be different. It already has a difference how you pay, but back then was very little salary that people would be paid to do cleaning jobs in Brazil and stuff like that. So, but as a job is a job.
Yeah.
And in here they pay a good money, so you just work.
Yeah, sure. How do you start the process for focus, in your way?
Oh, the moment I start to tell me that English speaking is not going to be a barrier for me, because we put in this barrier in your mind that we're not capable. I know, depends, you want a job, like you got to be, if you want to work as a lawyer, you need to study to be a lawyer in here or stuff like that. I'm not. But look at me, I come in here as an international student. I'm a counselor in the city of Melbourne. I've been elected by the people in here. And I didn't use my badge of Latin American during the election. I even didn't have time for that.
Yeah.
I didn't went to the Brazilian community. I didn't went to any of the Latin American community. I was like, I'm a resident of the city. I'm a represent the people from the city, the city of Melbourne. And
For everyone.
Beautiful.
It's amazing.
it's for everyone, because that's the city of Melbourne has, if you guys want me to explain a little bit, we have like 12 suburbs in the city of Melbourne. City of Melbourne is responsible for 24% of the GDP of the state and 7% of the country. So from these 12 suburbs, 7% of the country GDP is a lot of, you know. And so when you think about that, and I'm represent all this multicultural community, and not only Latin Americans, because like I didn't got elected for that, but I feel like somehow Latin Americans, that's where I come from.
Yeah,
so
sure.
if I can help, so every time they have an event with Latin Americans are there, I feel like, what's going on? I'm going there, represent the city of Melbourne, and can talk and stuff, but I need to improve my Spanish.
It's so good. Just before to jump that topic, I wanted to ask you, what's the most gorgeous thing you saw here when you arrived? You say, for example, I love scuba diving, surfing, and everything around the sea. And after I arrived, I went Bells Beach, I went Turkey, I went these areas. I say, no, that's amazing. I fell in love. My goosebumps every time I remember how was my first surfing here. What's that thing you felt like, oh?
I think it's the city. I'm a city person.
Okay.
I got married in the National Gallery, Victoria. So I love that place. Everything, the Blue Stone in Melbourne, when you walk and you have the laneways, the way you walk. And I live in the middle of the city. And I think that, and then when the trains become free, how can I get anything wrong? I live in a city that have a free public transport in the middle, and I have everything on my doorstep. One of the best, they have the best restaurants. They have culture. They have the museums. They have art. Have everything. Clean. And guess who's responsible for the cleaning of the city today? It's
It's
Mr.
so hard.
Yes, and it has been better than since I got elected. So my portfolio is safety and cleaning, and I share the infrastructure portfolio of the Lord Mayor, and I also part of the Arts Trust. So it's everything there. Has room for improvement. Don't get me wrong. I have been coming here, and I saw a lot of bad graffiti in parts of the city of Melbourne, but has a lot of things to be done. That's why. Now I'm gonna do my hello, people.
Let me take
That's my cards, and they have a QR code in here. When you come to the city of Melbourne, you always report. Help me to make the city clean. Sorry.
Exactly.
And it's a big challenge because a lot of people around the city, a lot of people and a lot of cultures.
Exactly. I want to take this time to explain our people. The Rafael Camilo is one of the persons in charge of keep the city clean and everything organized. Not clean, but everything
It's clean
under
too,
control.
Yeah. No, it's like we divide the city of Melbourne, just to explain. We have 11 councillors, okay? We call everyone's councillor. But only in the city of Melbourne has different rules. You elect a Lord Mayor and a Deputy Lord Mayor, okay? And você tem 9 vereadores, 9 councillors, that is, I don't know in Spanish.
Representatives.
Vereador in Portuguese.
Senadores.
No, senadores, no. A person that works for the council.
Representante.
Or representante.
Concejales.
Consulares.
Concejal.
Yeah, see, but it's
El concejal de Bucaramanga.
yeah. So in there we divide the work. What's the powers of a person that has been elected? Each one of those councillors have 1 vote. The only person can have 1 extra vote when you have a draw. So, for example, you're voting something that was recommended by the city of Melbourne, and 1 person was not there. That's why we have 11. So, if 1 person could not be, then the councillor, the Lord Mayor, can exercise 1 extra power and can have the extra vote. That's it. But each one have a vote. Apart from that, we don't have too much more power. But we try to divide the city in portfolios. And I got the portfolio in safety and cleaning, and I share the deputy with infrastructure with the Lord Mayor. And then each councillor looks after for a different one. Like, for example, you have the finance, you have planning, environment, business and economy, and you have community health and city service, and you have the arts and the Aboriginal portfolio. So then we divide the work. But I still can help with any of the other portfolios in the city of Melbourne.
I want to highlight your work. It's been so nice. One of the things I say from Melbourne that mostly I like when I arrived was the clean.
Yeah.
So there's sometimes messy because of some people is like, but after that it's always clean. Actually, when I feel like from here is when I'm walking and I see people throwing up like rubbish. I feel that disgusting. Like, why you do that? Sometimes I want to, hey, what you doing? But I don't want a problem. So, but I think, I don't act, but I think, because you feel responsible of the city. That's what something made me feel in love of Melbourne.
Yeah,
How clean
and I
is-
think for us it's a big difference because in Colombia it's really bad. It's a mess.
It's
Everything
difficult to
about
control.
that.
You know, I has an interesting story in Brazil about the subway. The subways in Brazil are one of the most clean places in the world. And I remember doing this case study at my university. So why is clean all the time? Because all the time people watching and make the place clean. When an environment is clean, people, they don't throw papers in the floor. They don't rubbish. But the moment, I already observed that, the moment you walk and the bins around the city are overflowing, people start throwing
We are
in the
as
floor.
an animals. And if someone is doing something, we want to do the same. So
But
I don't want to do the same.
But I don't want to do the same. But the thing is, that's one challenge that we have, like, because the population is growing. Sometimes you have a big visitation in the city. We still have problems of some bins overflowing, depends on the area of the city if you have an event. So that's a challenge with the technology, and AI can perhaps help us, because we can have bins now that can put a pressure to pressure the rubbish, and then we can use it for a longer time. But we need the technology to show to us it's time to collect now, and then we're going collect.
That's when I used to work for a demolition company.
Yep.
Driving a tipper truck, and something I loved was the controlling the rubbish for demolition. Something impressed. They like throwing wood and other separate cardboard,
Yes.
separate like the difficult materials like asbestos and that. For me was they're super
And the
organized.
recycling of that, because now I'm just getting contact, and I went to visit so many sites how they recycling the rubbish and how you're doing, and it has so many ways that if you recycle better, this can become money for us.
Yes.
We can save
Yeah,
money,
sure.
and the money can be used for different.
Yeah, because tip of rubbish and that is expensive, like $300 per ton,
Yes.
things like that.
Yep.
But when you ask for money, when you're gonna like throw different like concrete, asphalt, that is for free.
Yep.
So it's got the balance. It's something that's doing good.
If you, and I was watching The Lost City of Melbourne, is in Netflix now. Is a history on the 60s and the 70s where Melbourne lost some of the grandiose buildings because people want something modern. Had a guy in the video is very interesting. He saw opportunity. He was doing demolition. He knew those buildings was so well building, he could be selling all the demolition from those buildings. So he was making heaps of money because with the material he got it from the demolition. So he paid for demolish the building and then the demolition materials.
Because there's copper, there's steel.
Yes, and good quality. But we have been talking a lot about rubbish. I hope
So much, but it's just something to highlight
it
because
is important. It's every day, you know.
Yeah. So I have a question. What does it mean to you to represent the Latin community in Melbourne with so many cultures around?
Well, I love that you tell them I'm representing, and I feel honored that you telling I'm representing. You know, because like it's something that they can tell me that. You know, no, I feel a little bit. I don't know if it's the right thing I tell that I represent all the Latin Americans, but I'm the first Latin American to get elected in a capital city in Australia. And I didn't know that too. Since I got elected, I learned that. One of the councillors told that.
congratulations.
So I was very proud of that. And I think I think showing to people that I couldn't do, that opened the doors to everyone.
Yeah.
If he can do, why not?
Yeah.
And that's exactly one of the biggest obstructions for me was the English. Every time I thought that my English was not good enough. And you know why? I'm never going to be perfect. And I'm not perfect, and I'm not going to do everything perfect. But if I can do 100 things and 95 I'm making happen, I'm not going to focus in the 5 that I didn't do perfect. Because his life is like that,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
sure.
know? And I'm learning that in government, that is very hard. We go into debates, we're trying to do something, and they try to do everything perfect. And nothing gets done, you know? But sometimes is that the Latin
see?
American way, you know?
Yes,
We
sure.
keeping going. In Brazil, you have a phrase, o brasileiro não desiste nunca. The Brazilians, they never give up. I don't know if I have one in Colombia, but
No,
like...
same.
But
Yeah,
I think we have
I-
the
I-
same
Echao
spirit.
pa'lante.
Yeah,
No?
if you have a focus, you go for the focus, and that's it. You know, sometimes the way is hard, but we need to keep, and that's it.
And you guys have that, like when you do it, you want to do it. Otherwise, you don't do it.
Mhm.
And that is a cultural difference too, that we need to learn.
Yeah.
Because each country has a different culture.
That's nice to take that as like advice. And for the people who's hearing, if you guys want something, just go for it because you'll never be enough for English. You'll never be enough confident as we same here in radio, trying to make interviews in English. It's nice to see
It's
it.
amazing.
Exactly.
Are
People
we
like you.
communicating?
Yes.
Are we talking?
Yes.
So I speak Portuguese, you guys speak Spanish, you speak in English. How
We are
great
in-
is
we are
that?
in the same.
How many people in Australia can speak 2 languages?
No.
I don't know.
And you, Daniel, you can speak Portuguese too, because I was talking, you understand too.
Of course,
So-
senor. Of course, senor. But the thing is that never you'll be enough for that. Just go straight, and we have an
Go for
example. You're an example of life for people who's here now.
And that's And sometimes I ask, like, if I start thinking too much, I don't get anything done. I just keeping doing, and non-stop. It's not easy. It's not easy because as one side in here, you need to keep improving yourself all the time. That's the tiring part of being a person that migrates to another country. Has that element. Not everything is all sunshine, because it has another element, like when you're moving here, you don't have support of family.
Yes.
You need to create a new community. So I think you need to be very brave. And
Yes.
I think it helps that I'm an extrovert person. That helps a lot because put me out there to try to speak and be in contact with people,
I'm thinking who was like 18 years because in the culture in the like the crew I'm moving now with the truck drivers, they may be more in touch with different people.
Yes.
But 18 years ago, there was mostly, I think, Australians or different cultures, and try to get into was a bit tough for you at that time.
No, I think it was the words I heard more in my life was beg your pardon, because and I still hear it because I still have a strong accent, But I think it's much more open, And
Yes.
one thing I thought, and I mentioned you guys in terms is the have the interpreting service because I'm an interpreter too. Sometimes in my outside hours, I work as an interpreter, and I can feel the pain when I'm interpreting, because I'm in there and I need to interpret exactly what the
Yeah.
person
Exactly.
and I cannot help. So, and I can feel that. And so I'm constantly reminding myself it's not that easy. But at least the new migrants, the new international students, they have that service. That's brilliant, If you need to go to a doctor, I didn't have any then. If I need to go to the doctor or I need to go in the bank or open a bank account, no help at all. We didn't have Google Translate, nothing. Yes. I had a phone that was
And dictionary.
Nokia, was a Nokia, a big, and to ring to Brazil, I remember that I looked the house I was going to rent to share with people after I leave the homestay. They have a public telephone on the corner, so I can go in the night to ring my family in Brazil.
No, and also for maps.
Yes.
Forget us directions.
Maps.
Now we have everything just on the phone, but I don't know how you
To
do
going
before.
out because you didn't have public transport. For example, I was living in Bandura next to La Trobe Uni. So I go out in the weekends because we're Brazilian. We're Latin America. We need to go out. We party, we do stuff. And sometimes I need to save $60 back then to get a taxi to come back home. You don't have a Uber, was $60 to $70. So I go out, you have your drink, and you put a pocket hide in there to save the money. And when it's time to go home, you can go home and jump in a taxi. If you're lucky to get a taxi, because it's still the same problem until today, Saturday night. If you're lucky, you get it. Or you can wait the tram, the hours, but now you have it more 24 hours. So there's a lot of things with technology that makes the life is much, much easier.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but okay, I just want to say to our audience, if you are just jumping on our live, we are with Rafael Camilo. He is the Consul of City of Melbourne. We are in Australia, in Melbourne. Maybe if you are looking at us from another country, another city, we are here in Melbourne.
Melbourne, Australia, because
Melbourne,
a lot of people think it's Melbourne in America all the time, I still getting message at Council from Melbourne. They think I'm a counselor in there in
Really?
America, and some people say,
No, I'm in Australia.
But I can do it if you want. Why not?
Well, guys, don't forget we have the WhatsApp 0466 458 082.
Yeah.
Because we are with the council. If you have questions, we have things to read in the message, Ali. If you want to say something, you want to ask something, this is the proper time. So feel free to send a message by WhatsApp.
Rafael, I have a question. Oh, go to the music a little bit. How do you feeling? You good?
no, I'm good.
Okay. I have a question. What projects or areas of work are you most passionate about with the council?
Which part I'm more passion?
Yes.
The chance to make a change. because the reason I went there is because I'm over here was the best city in the world.
Yeah.
And I feeling like it's no longer the best city in the world. You know, we need to change. And a lot of things make me worry was safety. Safety is a big concern.
Yes.
One of the reasons we come from Latin America here is feel safer is good. And I'm not enjoying these home invasions, the knives, the guns. And I never experienced that in Australia. This is very, very new. When I moved in here, you would not see
Are
that.
you into
Actually,
that
we have a
department?
Yes, I'm safety.
actually we have a comment about that. Camilo Jamoy said rubbish is control but not the crime. Melbourne is getting crazy, and it is.
And I agree.
Yeah.
And I don't like to hide things under the carpet. And I'm working very hard on that. Like we have 2 initiatives now. We put in.
But also you can work on it. You can do something about the crime or
no,
maybe
what I
purpose
can put in, for example, I can put emotions and help working with the city of
Support.
Melbourne to support and bring to vote. And because like the staff members of the city of Melbourne can propose something to the councillors, we need to vote. So imagine you have 11 people, the majority 6.
Democracy.
If it's 6, they don't agree, so we cannot move on. So I'm very happy that since I got in there, I move a motion in relation to security guards. People call it security guards. I call it enforcement law officers. Okay, we need to enforce the law in the city of Melbourne. We need more people to do the job because more visitors, the population is growing. But people now attacking us and telling that like, these security guards are not good and they doing this and that. They don't like the homeless people. No, I think it's completely different way. Having someone watching and be preventive, that's what we need. Yeah. Okay. Today we have a person running with a gun in the middle of the city. I don't know why he comes from the suburbs to the middle of the city because we have cameras everywhere. Was a little bit stupid. Huh? Just like if you go, run away to the countryside, but don't come to the middle of the city because every single lane away you could see the men running, you know. But why? We need to ask ourselves what's going on in there. So we need to improve the safety with better. We're asking for more patrolling of police, but we putting our own staff to help the police to address this issue. Another thing, we're putting more money in the cameras that move a motion, and we got to introduce more cameras to help and be preventive too. Another thing, not only use the cameras, better use. I found out in the city of Melbourne since 2011, the CCTV cameras could only be used to report serious crimes. Has so many uses we can be doing, like to report litter, rubbish. We can report someone had an accident in the city and crash in the curb in there and run away. Like
Or kids over speeding the lanes. What do you call that?
Well, some of the things, like for example, if someone become a nuisance or become violent, we can alert the police. Has a lot of things we can be being preventive. I think it's all preventive.
Yeah.
If you wait to be reactive, then I think it's too late.
Okay.
Yeah, but you don't have to wait that something happens to do something.
Yeah.
No? It's
But
better
I
if you
think one thing I'm seeing, I'm not a person that I walk in the street and see a homeless person living there for 5 days. I cannot ignore that. You know, I need to do something more.
Yeah. In your role, you left the expansion the city security cameras network. How do you balance respecting the city's privacy?
Yes.
What is the
So
process?
that's why we have a consultation right now. Okay. And that we want to hear from the public. So it's I'm glad you make this question because you can go to my Instagram or to the, because what I'm doing, my Instagram is a private page. I just put it just for constituents. I'm not going to be showing my holidays in there. I'm not going to show you my private life because it's not necessary. I mean, is the page is Rafa for Locals. Okay. So Rafa for Locals Instagram. I have 4 links in there that always, if I'm doing a consultation, people can go to my bio and have your say. That's very important, you know? And in there, you can express yourself. When is your concern in terms of privacy or not? Because that's the consultation period.
That's super useful. For people who's hearing now, we are sharing the Instagram for Mr. Consular. It's Rafa for
Locals.
locals. That's
Rafa
so
for
nice.
locals, not with the 4 letter, but for locals. And or you can search Rafael Camilo with double L. But remember, you can go to the website of City of Melbourne, or just consultation, or go to Participate Melbourne. We always have consultations going on for the people living in the City of Melbourne.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's your Instagram, Ali?
Yeah. My Instagram is at Aleja Breton, and yeah, you can see everything about me on there.
My Instagram is
about my life.
Daniel Caja de Doblajes.
And my Instagram is Angie.melog.
Yeah, so we are here with Rafael Camilo. He is the the consular of City of Melbourne. We are going to go for a music. So if you have any questions, just let us know on the comments as Camilo say something. So just
Mejor dicho, muchachos, aprovechen, manden mensajes, manden WhatsApp, escriban los que están en TikTok, pásense aquí los que
Pode
están en
hablar
Instagram.
tudo.
Pásense
Fala
aquí. En este momento podemos aclarar muchas dudas porque hay más preguntas que podemos hacer y si ustedes nos ayudan a enviar sugerencias aquí por medio de Kik o por Instagram, podemos resolver todo. Ya tenemos aquí al señor Cónsul de Melbourne, entonces
City of
aprovechemos.
Vamos a hablar con Rafael, así que
Todas las
vengan pues.
preguntas del mundo.
Todas las preguntinhas.
Todas as perguntinhas. He talks like Portuguese. Brazilians like to use the pouquinho, niña.
Yeah, I love it.
That is very Colombian. Yeah, I'm learning that.
Yeah.
Los amiguiños en la cervecina.
But I think the people from Bogota, they talk more. From Barranquilla, they speak a different Spanish.
What do you reckon about what the setup we have here? How you find
Brilliant.
this?
I was in love because, you guys doing miracles. You know, you come in, like I just found out 3 years ago, you guys are working. You already have a radio station all set up in here. And I met you guys in a Colombian event for the first time.
Yeah.
And I was already impressed. And I was happy because it was a good impression, the way you guys in there working, make the things happen with the right technology. But this for me is very impression. It's a typical Latin American.
Yeah.
Typical.
In Spanish, we say
Thank
working with con las garras. Como
With
com
the
las
nails,
garras.
with the nails.
And in
the
Portuguese, trabalhando com as garras.
Yeah, it's pretty much the
it's
same.
the same.
Same.
Yeah.
Well, to introduce you, Latin Crew, our mission is communicate to the Latin community
Yes.
about the local news in Australia, but we want to connect with Sydney, we want to connect with Perth, we want to connect to Adelaide.
Uluru too, everywhere,
Yeah.
my friend.
But one of the missions is share what the government wants from us, like community, like cleaning. You want to share information you can use on.
Good.
You can take advantage of this to take Latin Q as a part of the communication.
I forgot to tell one thing to you. I went to I asked for the City of Melbourne to go in the training. We have our cleaners with trolleys cleaning the City of Melbourne. And that's an initiative we had, and that's great. The majority of them, they are
from
international students from Latin America.
Yeah.
David used to work there.
Well, so probably I met you. Did you
And
do?
maybe-
You did one of the training ships? I say I want going there, and I try to speak a little bit in Spanish, and they say, "What do you talk with then?" And I say, "You know why? You guys need to clean the streets like you clean your house. You can eat from the floor like a good Latin American. You know, your house is spotless. And you know why? Because the moment you come to the city of Melbourne is an experience.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you don't have a good experience, people, they don't come back. It's a capital city. We need tourism. We need visitors. So the cleaning element is very
It's very
important.
important.
And maybe the money from that job is here.
Good. Good.
David used to work there.
Did you used to work with one of
Yeah,
the
with
trolleys?
Spotless.
Why
Yeah.
did you stop? Well, you're growing, my friend. That's good, but it's a good start. I'm happy that City of Melbourne could help international students to have a decent job and income. I'm very happy with that.
So you guys
Yes.
can take that as advice. We love Melbourne. We love Australia. That's why we keep clean. That's
Yes.
why we
Yes.
give our best every day. We work in the right area. We drive over the right area. So
And
we're gonna
this is
share
use
the
my
card.
QR code.
Exactly.
Whatever I go is in my business card. My QR code is not about myself. It's about you use this QR code. And anytime you come to the City of Melbourne, you take a picture. You can use that QR code and make an app, and you just report it. You don't need to live in
it's
the City of
amazing.
Melbourne. Any
We can
person
share this one in their social media. The Latin crew.
please do it.
Amazing.
You
I
know,
take the
anyone can come. If you see a spillage in the street and you think the streets are not clean, if you see a graffiti that you feel offensive, we are the only city in the world, one of the only cities in the world with offensive graffiti, we clean in 1 hour. But you need to tell us. I'm getting a lot of people that report the graffiti and they don't mention this is offensive. This needs to be, like, for example, we have issues now with protests. People can write offensive things against each other. And we need to be respecting that, you know.
I have a question. You talk about the graffitis.
Yeah.
If we have do the graffiti from Latin crew, we can do it? Who is the process in the city? Is possible?
In which way?
I don't know.
No. You say the graffiti in the city, but what do you want to do?
Like, I don't know. Maybe what is the line? The
We want
graffiti?
to like to pay
Rose lane.
Something
You
like
guys
that.
going there and buy your own thing. We cannot authorize that.
Okay. We can do the logo, Latin Cure logo.
I don't know how long it's gonna last. That lane away is like it's free. The only place is free for graffiti.
Okay, it's amazing.
So,
Yeah.
but I don't know who is trying. Anyway, going there.
Rafael,
I'm promising there we don't clean the graffiti. You know? But the other, just for you guys to understand, when you have a rate, you know, when you pay your tax, if you own a property, you receive a letter every year to ask, would you like us to not clean graffiti in your house? The question is if you don't want us to clean graffiti. Because if you don't want, will you respect your house can be graffiti?
Sure.
So if I make a graffiti on my door, I can do it?
You were in Footscray, not in the city of Melbourne.
Okay, yeah. Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer.
And if you're in the city of Melbourne, you want graffiti your entire house, that if you own the house, you're allowed to do it. But
Nice.
remember, when you live in a community,
You need to
doesn't
ask for
matter.
the
Yeah, sure.
landlord.
no,
To the real estate.
but all you need to ask, if you rent the house is more complicated, if you own is different, but it's chill. It's always good to get a good relationship with your neighbor. So I would recommend, you know, like.
Yeah. Rafael, we have a comment from our audience. As you see, we are a Latin community and we always want to do a business here in Australia. I know a lot of Colombians are doing the same like us.
Yep.
So we have a comment. Ese Juanda said, what is the best time to apply for Melbourne Council grants for a small or a start-up business?
Okay, any time is a good time to research to apply for a grant. Okay, depends on the grants. They can be like, the majority then is like every year. So any time that you want research about that is a good time because you don't know, maybe it could have been 2 or 3 months. So you can visit the website of the City of Melbourne and put a grant, and then you can have some information. But if you want a specific question, if you're confused, it's part of our job to be a counselor, to try to help members of the community. So my email, I'm free to give my email. I have some people that helps me in there, and they could be direct your question about grants to the right department. So it's like my first name, Rafael, like you write in Spanish, Rafael Camilo, Camillo, at Hotmail. No, not Hotmail. Sorry. See how old I am? I'm sure I have Hotmail.
Hotmail.
I just told my age. You know,
I used to use Hotmail. It's okay.
Me too, yeah.
I used and
I thought it was
Messenger.
just really.
Really?
Oh, I'm happy now. Because every time I say Hotmail, people say, "Oh, you're
I
old."
know, yes.
Yeah.
Or Messenger.
So funny.
Which music do you like?
But it's time for me to tell the email. So Rafael, Rafael Camilo, Camillo at melbourne.vic.gov.au.
No worries. Anyway, we're gonna put them.
You guys gonna put it, but it's just like feel free, send an email, any questions about grant. I have a person that helps me, can direct the question direct to the right department.
And I think this question is so important because I think a lot of people doesn't know that the government could help us with some grants.
So depends on the
business.
grants. The grants could be for innovation. The grants could be for an event. The grants could be. So you need to find if you can apply for that. So it's very important for you to read the criteria and not waste your time. Sometimes I get a lot of people complain, I didn't got the grant. but you need to read the criteria. Say, did you know you need to get, like, for example, an event, you need to get, for example, 5,000 people in an event in order to get it around 20,000 to help in the event. No, I didn't know. So and it's very competitive, has a lot of.
Well, depends on mostly maybe why depends of what kind of event or how many people.
Could have been an event. Could have been we have like a short grant for a small business that opening in the city of Melbourne. For example, you decide to open your radio instead to being Footscray. You want to go to the city of Melbourne, and then maybe you can apply for a grant in there. Okay?
Próximamente we're gonna be at.
And then that's could have been. Maybe this year we can have the money from that. Maybe in the next year not. And so it's not. Just a reminder: grant is one-off. It's not a continual money that we give every month.
It's just
once.
Okay.
This is for economic development of the city to stimulate the economy and give an incentive for new entrants, new business or people that are starting.
But it's good to know because you can work to get it. So that's good. Yeah. Beautiful. So that's the answer for ese Juanda 81. If you wanna, si quieres saber el correo, escríbenos al WhatsApp o escríbenos por acá en los comentarios. No sé si hablar en español o en inglés.
¿Cómo es el número de WhatsApp, Dani? In English.
I have
English,
WhatsApp
in Spanish, and Portuguese. What is the number in Portuguese?
The number in Portuguese?
Yeah.
¿Para qué?
Para WhatsApp.
For the
Para
people.
WhatsApp.
For WhatsApp.
If you want to read the number.
Your number. Where's your number?
Over there.
Yes.
04
0 4 6 4 5 8 0 8 2. Tá certo?
Português, temos el WhatsApp.
Posso ler de novo? Porque eu tô achando que tá faltando um número aqui. Ok. O número de WhatsApp para vocês contatarem o Latin Crew é 0464. Não é 66, gente, mas dá uma. Ok. Vamos de novo. 0466458082. Eu vou repetir. 0466458082.
And Latin Crew. You was close.
We love the email from Rafael. If you have a business and you wanna know if you can get any grant from the council, just send an email.
Just remember one thing. Usually a lot of the grants is for some people that got to use the grant in the city of Melbourne.
Yep.
Remember the city of Melbourne, we have 12 suburbs, and I'm going to read all of them in here, okay? So it's which suburbs are part of city of Melbourne? Carlton, Docklands, East Melbourne, Flemington, Kensington, Melbourne CBD, North Melbourne, Parkview, Port Melbourne, South Bank, South Yarra, and West Melbourne. 12.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yes, very big.
And around that, we have around 140,000 constituents, like people can vote. And talking about vote, I have a very interesting thing that when I met Diego, the ambassador of Colombia, I went in an event that the day I met you guys. And one thing I forgot. When you live in the city of Melbourne, it's a capital city zone, international students are allowed to vote. When you rent a property, is the only, not a lot of places in the world. And I gotta tell one thing. So if you live in the city of Melbourne, in all the suburbs, you can apply to vote in the next election. So if you're living there, you usually, I don't know exactly the rules with the organization that organized for you to register to vote, but you allowed only the capital city zone. So
Beautiful.
This is the exercise of democracy that you don't have in a lot of countries. You are not a citizen, but you still can vote for your local government. Another thing is, I found great.
That's a thank
amazing.
you, government of Victoria, to
Yes,
give us the opportunity for voting.
Is the way to, they are saying to us
Feeling
that
part of Melbourne,
We
you know?
have boys
your voice,
finally
your voice
after 3
counts.
years.
Yeah, your voice counts.
How can I do it?
So when it comes to the time of the election,
Yeah.
you can go to the Electoration Commission and you can register in there. They have ways online. And And I discovered that during the election, and I have been living there for all these years. I didn't know.
This is a great news for us.
And you know, the fact that you exercise is, if you guys want to get involved in politics, it's just a good exercise to vote, because if you have issues around the area where you live and you want to know how you can improve and have your say, that's a good exercise.
Yeah, because we care about
Absolutely.
Melbourne.
You can
It's
do every
important.
4 years if you live in the city of Melbourne, not in the suburbs area. It's only the capital city zone.
Okay.
No.
Quick question: have you tried Colombian food or what kind of Latin food?
Yes, my favorite is the empanadas, and I have because empanadas for me is a reminder of Brazil, but some of the empanadas can be better. And now I'm learning more and more in Australia, in Melbourne. The last event that I was with the last Saturday was the
Was the cachivaches?
yeah,
Ah, it's amazing.
and I was learning even more about the difference of the empanadas. And I know the Venezuelans are always competing with you guys. And they're like, yes.
We say that
But I want
When
to
you
say,
say
no, wait a minute. You didn't let me finish. I still prefer the Colombian one. I tried it. Nothing against the Venezuelans. I love them, but yeah.
Nah, we love Venezuela.
Because
I
when the
love
people say,
Venezuela.
the arepa is from Venezuela or something like that, it's like the people say, Sydney is better to Melbourne, you know? You say, nah, wait.
No.
Melbourne is better. It's same. I feel
It's
it's
the same.
same.
Yeah.
You know, Sydney has beautiful views, but the culture that you have in Melbourne, Melbourne is very special.
Yes.
It's
chaotic but
I
beautiful.
travel around the world. I love to travel. One
Yeah.
is my biggest passion. So every year, I just come back from America, went to the California. I just spent 25 days driving around California, went to places and stuff. And I went to San Francisco. One thing I was very happy to see that in terms of safety, they has been improved a lot. San Francisco, I thought it was a city that was lost because of safety issues. But I think they're doing a very good job in terms of rehabilitation of people and drugs.
Yeah.
And I think we need to uplift the game in here. I think it's a big issue in
Yeah.
the city of Melbourne. The drug use, the drug trafficking, a lot of things. And one of the things as in my portfolio, I really want to improve. I want people to be rehabilitated.
Yeah, sure.
How long you've
I'm
been
gonna
in?
vote again for Rafael Camilo.
Absolutely. You have
I don't know if
now
I'm going to
3 votes,
survive
4
3
votes.
more years, because it's not an easy job. Because
Yeah,
it's a
sure.
little. I want to tell that to the public, because that's very important. A salary as a counselor is not as a salary as a counselor would have been in Brazil or Colombia. Politicians getting paid very well in Latin America.
Yeah.
In here in Australia, you get it to be in a capital city zone, 60,000 a year. 60,000 a year.
Vocational.
Some days I'm working. This is like an allowance, and they debit as well the tax. They debit the super. So I'm doing that for love.
That's
Okay?
nice.
Okay,
That's how
because
the things must be. Like,
I
not for
need to
money.
organize my finance and work on the side in order to have this. I call it a luxury in my life, and I have a pleasure to have this luxury. But it's kind of like I'm glad I need to organize myself a little bit, and my partner to be understandable, you know. And otherwise, it would be not easy, because it is a constant work. The moment I put the nose outside of my door, I'm having people asking things.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
why is not clean? Why is the city? What are we gonna do about that? Where is the violence? What's blah 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 blah? Like, I'm in here now. What time is it? I don't know.
It's too much.
What time is it?
7:42.
See? Doesn't matter. I went to council today since this morning, but I don't care. This is a pleasure. I put myself in there. I'm trying to
Thank
to
you.
do.
Thanks so
And,
much.
and I hope I'm not gonna end up like one of those from some political parties that they just go do what they told for them to do. No, I'm in here to represent the people of the city of Melbourne, you know?
Yeah.
If they are from the right, left, or center, or short, tall, Brazilian, Venezuelan, Colombian, we are all people, you know?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming. We appreciate it too much.
No, it's my pleasure. Just, I'm not trying to say it. It's just, and what else?
I want to ask you, we talk about the grants from the
City of
of Melbourne, but I want to ask you if we have more support from the city of Melbourne for us as migrants and students. We have more
Okay.
grants, more helps or something else?
What the City of Melbourne, they try to support international students. They continue to support international students through programs and services such as Melbourne International Student Week. Okay, we put some money in events as well as students' welfare programs. So we have some welfare programs in there. So another thing, you could send me an email or go to the website of the City of Melbourne. Okay, www.cityofmelbourne.com.au. Or Melbourne Student Ambassador, is that something? Or the City of Melbourne, we getting some people to be international student ambassador. So the person can go to a lot of events of City of Melbourne and help them to communicate. At the moment, we have good students. One of them has been voted the International Student of the Year, is Marina. She's from Japan. Oh my God, she loves everything, all the events. And I keep in bump to her to the events and say, do you want to do my job as a counselor? You know, that she's in the morning, night, she's all of there. The other thing is international students are available. International students is a big contribution for the economy of the city of Melbourne, not only the City of Melbourne, for the economy of the country. So if anything, we have the Student Melbourne. Have you guys been to the Student Melbourne? It's a partnership of the Victorian government. It's a building in, oh my God, what's the name of the laneway in there? I just went this week. And Guildford Lane now is not laneway, I got to remember soon. It's a beautiful 3-level buildings. You can study, you have service. So the City of Melbourne are partners of the Student Melbourne in partnership with the state government. So if you need some help or even legal aid, all those services, that service I never had before as an international student. And I think please use that.
And it's for free or?
It's for free. It's for free service. So when there's a beautiful building, 3 levels, and you can have you can do on the top level. They even have a kitchen. Sometimes they have events. You can be in an area you can study. You can use a Wi-Fi. You can have a legal aid. This is very important because it has a lot of people. Sometimes they are in transitions to moving house and stuff like that. I was discussing with them what can be done more about that. I heard that has a lot of international students. They come in here and they don't take their bond. You know, like when you put a bond to rent a house, there's a lot of people, they go home and they don't. I was asking if somehow we could use those bonds for people left for more than 5 years to put in a fund to help people in really need. For example, mental health, or could someone experience domestic violence can happen. Could it be someone exploring the landlord, exploring these people, have different sides of exploration. I'm not going to talk only about the Latin American community. Remember, we have the big Asian community in here that has different forms of exploitation. It has a lot of scams as well. We need to be very aware about scams. And one thing I heard, and I would like to talk about today, is the Latin American community, when they decide to come to Australia, be very aware. If you're not, you didn't come to Australia yet, or you consider to go to overseas, study very well your cost of living, preparation, planning, where you're gonna live, how much money, if you're not gonna work, what's gonna happen in an emergency. Because a lot of the Asians, they sell a picture that everything is easy.
It's a dream.
It's a dream, but protect yourself. Sure. When I come in here, was much more harder. My dad needs to prove that he had in a bank account that amount of money that today is not even closer. Yes, you had like some help, but you open and make it easier for people to live that dream or to study but prepare yourself.
That reminds me, when the people say like, oh, the students are increasing their rent, the students are taking advantage from government. I said to that guy, man, you don't know how much I spent to come here. Like, I had to have in my account like 30,000 to be with my wife, plus the first month of rent, plus the bond, plus transport, plus college.
Plus you need to pay the private health insurance too. Don't forget about that. And not everything's included. So I have cases like, I know the hardship someone could experience that being an interpreter. Imagine you don't speak the English, then you come in here and lucky, and I recommend don't come to the country without, for your visa, you need the private health insurance, but don't stop paying for that. It's a small amount that is very
mandatory.
Okay?
It's very important.
It's mandatory, but like once you're in here, you need to renew your visa. So it's very important. Don't play any games.
And I say to the guy, man, you're living another dream. Because the guy say like, you guys, after 3 years, you got the PR easily. I say, huh?
Oh,
No.
yeah.
You don't have idea.
Ojalá.
How was the government facing this kind of like myths or the people, because there's many protests during these days about the migrants, about how is the government facing the difference between this kind of migrants, the students,
Yes.
because we are pretty different. And they have all the crew in same area, like migrants. All of you who don't speak English, they're migrants.
Yeah, and it's not fair. And I feel sorry that you guys need to experience that. And don't worry, I experienced things up to today date, being a counselor, everywhere. You know, it is a reality. I'm going to do it. And then we develop a thick skin. Like, what are you going to do? Not far, few days ago, I had someone mocking my English in council. You know, I said, well, I'm not going to tolerate that. You're not going to do it. Just keep on doing stuff.
And your English is pretty well, so okay.
Well, but it doesn't matter. It's always something. You know, you're never going to please everyone. So don't take too personal and keep on doing, guys. Just keep on doing. And, but yes, I think this is very important because I was talking about that last week, especially from Latin American. They sell a dream and they sell that everything's easy. Be planning yourself, look after yourself. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Absolutely.
it's true. It is a message for people who want to come Australia. Plane, money, where you live, with, what you're going to study, where, how close from the college, how far from home. That's it.
And you have the privilege, one thing different than America. Like, if, for example, people going to international student, in there you cannot work. Australia allows you to work part-time, and the salary here is not like salaries in the other country. A salary that you can make in here can really help you with your costs and then be kind of independent. But one thing, don't pay to study and don't go to school. Please don't do that. Don't. Because it's important. You're paying to study English. At least going there, you're paying for.
Yeah.
You know? You're paying. Just go. Make sure you're going there. Even if you say it's boring, you're not interested, sit down and try to learn.
Yeah,
It's a
this is your
very
money,
important time. You
Yeah.
know?
Sure,
That's true.
absolutely. How do you, how will I like the see Melbourne in 10 or by 20 years?
Well, interesting question. We just had the 25th summit from City of Melbourne. You know, that we discussed that we want to be a city that we grow together. I would prefer to say thriving together because the word thriving is more for a long period, but is the slogan now. And we had a consultation from people from different parts of town, from different walks of life, and we invite different communities. And then I think what I need, first of all, because my portfolio, I want a safer city. You know, because if you're safer, if you're clean, and if you give the conditions, things will thrive.
Sure.
And then that's what you need to make. And I don't want to live in the condition. I don't want to move to Australia and now worry that the way I used to worry in Brazil in terms of safety. I love Brazil. I could live any time in there, but in there, I knew always was like that. But not having this situation in here and then see the degradation and then see this happen, I would never gonna be happy with that. So if I can fight is the word to not let this happen, I will do. So that's the number one. I think like when they talk a lot of inclusive city in a way, like people has a chance, and I think we have. I think Australia offers that. You can be whatever you want in here. If you want to work in the Crown Casino, you can make $50 an hour to be a cleaner. But if you want to be a dancer, it's still like in comparison to other countries in the world. And that's is important when I tell a lot of Australians, go and travel. Go and travel for you value what this country, what we offer for ourselves. And don't take this for granted. Because, you know, it's always like...
Yep.
Yes, for us, Australia is the dream place. We are playing as a radio, then truck driver. They say, yes, my best place.
You know, and then you can save the money. You can afford to save. They say it's very hard, but today I was talking with a couple, okay? They're Australians. Then when they bought their first apartment, they two professionals, it's too complicated. You know, they compromise. They don't need a 3-bedroom house, but they bought a 2-bedroom apartment with a car park with a view to the docklands. Well, it's your first step. Nothing wrong with that. And then it's good. They can do it with 2 sellers. They paying less now than they were paying for rent to pay for their mortgage. You know what I mean? So like a little bit compromise in there, you know?
Well, to finish, and thank you so much for coming. Thanks for everything. We really appreciate what you did here because you opened a big door to communication between the Latin community and the government of Australia because we think as a Latin community, we felt like in the corner, walking and running.
Never feel in the corner. Everyone has a space.
Exactly.
Many people they don't like, the others don't like, but you never gotta please everyone. Just learn that.
Thanks so much. Any message you want to send to all the people who's watching now? Or probably wanna see the video in the future. Any advice? Any recommendation as a consular of Melbourne who become from Brazil?
As a student.
As an international student moving to Melbourne from the international student.
When was 28?
As a consular. 27.
27.
Don't make me older. I'm amongst everyone young in here. But yes. And I got to repeat that. And I spoke with SBS about that too. Don't put yourself to feel that you're less just because your English is not perfect, okay? Going there, if you believe in something and you specialize yourself in something, people will understand. And don't make this stop what your dreams, what you want to achieve, and never. And put your chin up and keep it going. Yes. Chin up and keep it going. Because if you're not going to do that for yourself, no one's going to be doing.
Okay? In Spanish, we can say, mira al frente.
Mira a frente, vai para frente, não pode ir para trás. Para trás não vai. But I think this is one of the things, and like everyone has problems, you know? Everyone has dramas in life and stuff. But like, try to overcome this, keeping going, and that's the challenge when you live overseas. But it has one thing I feel very important. If you not feel happy on not having your family close, has nothing problem. It doesn't have a problem for you to decide to say, I want to come back to Brazil, I want to come back to Colombia, especially for those that have young families, for example.
Yeah.
You know, those have a young family. You want to start a family, but you want to be close to your family. You are not a failure. It doesn't have the right or wrong. If you're not happy in here, you want to be close to your family, go back and be happy. But if you want to be in here, try one thing is a term that I'm using in council a lot. We talk about being multicultural. Multicultural we can be, the Colombians can be in there, the Brazilians in there, the Italians in there. But I want an intercultural city. Where are we doing here? The Brazilian talk with the Colombian. And we have this interculturalidade. I would like to see more in Melbourne, you know, like the cultures merging and respecting that.
Yeah.
But we still keeping some of the Australian culture. I know it's a very young country, but you keep, it doesn't matter if you eat your Vegemite, but embrace. We need to embrace all the cultures.
Yeah, that's why we are doing this, and that's why you are here. Also because you are the consul, but you are a Brazilian. We want to get more closer with all the cultures, not just with our culture, Colombian culture. We want to know more about the Chile, Peruvian, Asian culture, Brazilian culture.
Bring
everyone.
all the international students in here is great from all of the world. Melbourne offers that. So we can give you a little bit taste and you guys can talk about, you know what I love in Melbourne? All this different food.
Yeah.
Your doorstep. From all of the world. Which country in the world offers that?
We have our own Graceland. We have the small Graceland.
Yes, I know that.
Have you been?
Very, very close. I have been there, yes. And that's interesting, you know, like that's good. Bring life and culture, and why not? And count with me, guys. From time to time, you know, I come in and visit you. We can talk more about it. I feel has passion in here. People are happy. I appreciate the work and the gaha that you guys have in here to put that together. Working, coming in a different country. Look what you're making here. This is magic. You have a radio station in Footscray, and you guys build that, and good. And 3 years leaving the country.
Yeah.
Who does that? You know?
Thanks
Gracias,
so much for
Rafael.
coming, Rafael.
Y gracias a las personas que nos están escuchando en este momento. Voy a pasar un poquito de español para charlar con ustedes. Muchas gracias por los mensajes que nos han enviado. Gracias por escribirnos al WhatsApp. Gracias por estar conectados. Hacemos esto con mucho amor, con mucha dedicación. Traer una persona de este calibre no es fácil. Contar con su tiempo, contar con su presencia, porque sabemos que es importante, que tiene muchas cosas que hacer, pero lo hacemos por ustedes para que ustedes estén informados, estén conectados y muchas gracias por no despegarse.
Sí, y de verdad que toda la información es muy bonita poder compartirla y ver que de verdad tenemos una voz como latinos. A veces creemos que no tenemos una voz acá en un país tan lejano y sí lo tenemos. Como nos dijo Rafael, también podemos votar y es algo que de verdad demuestra mucho que sí al gobierno acá le importa nuestra voz como latinos, como estudiantes, como migrantes. Entonces, por eso hacemos estos espacios.
Total, y bueno, tenemos a Rafael acá que nos inspira, ¿no? Es como que también empezó limpiando y ya es cónsul de Melbourne, es como todas las personas que nos están escuchando, es como, sí se puede. Enfóquese, no importa que su inglés no sea el mejor, pero pues bueno, vaya mejorando, que es la idea, ¿no? Lo ideal es tener un propósito y detrás de él, como nosotros estamos acá sentados. Así que, thank you so much, Rafael.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for receiving me here. It was a pleasure.
Thanks to you to come to here and to share with us your story and everything about you, because it's an inspiration for us and for all the people that are hearing today and all our community, because that's the thing we want to do, inspiration.
We have a short script for you, if you can please read, and we can record in the next videos for future.
Yes, for sure. 1, 2, 3, go. Hola, soy Rafael Enrique Rodriguez Camilo, council of this, oh my God.
CBD.
I got it. The CBD of Melbourne.
You can improve your Spanish
now.
now.
I need to improve my Spanish now. That's the time. Oh, that how embarrassing. Hola, soy
You can practice.
Hola, soy Rafael Camilo, council de CBD Melbourne. E escuto Latin Creole, the Latin radio station. And Latin Creole.
Au!
I need next time. I hope I improve my
That was a
Spanish.
good one. Thank you.